multiple sclerosis is a disease that we claim we don't know. And being a spine surgeon, I was always involved in working people up. Is it MS? Is it cervical spine disorder? Is it whatever? And one of the hallmark really is, because there's no particular blood study or anything, but the hallmark really is an MRI that shows plaques in the central nervous system, plaques in the brain, plaques in the spinal cord. And these plaques, we call them plaques. They're just, the MRI just shows you different picture, like there's white or black spots on your nervous tissue that we call plaques. You ask a doctor what it is. Well, we don't know, but it's an MS plaque. Okay. Well, it turns out that a pathologist recently, and I have his paper and I should have looked up his name, but a pathologist not too long ago did 10 sequential autopsies of MS patients, and every one of them, 100%, had parasites in the brain or in the spinal cord. What we are seeing as plaques turns out probably to be parasite egg sacs, parasite infestation. And he said in some cases you could actually see small nematode wormholes. I mean, that it was overt. We've been missing that, but it does explain something. When I was in medical school, I always thought it was an interesting little factoid that when you looked at the risk factor for MS, one of the risk factors that doesn't make sense thinking about it any other way is that a risk factor for MS is if you had if you had a lap dog in childhood. Now, why would that matter? Because you are more likely to get infested with parasites early because you had a dog with parasites. Really, this is what's going on. Another thing that's been dropping recently on Telegram and other alternative media sources are doctors speaking out that have noticed now in fresh blood smears, they see parasites in cancer patients. In fact, they're saying 100% of cancer patients have parasites in their blood smear. Now, we probably all have parasites, but it's not broken out to the point where we see things swimming around in our bloodstream. I will tell you that when I was a medical student in the 70s, they asked that we're to be good doctors, we are all supposed to look at fresh blood smears under the microscope ourselves, not just a lab. Look at everybody's fresh blood smear and look at their urine yourself. You learn things from that. And actually we did. But by 1980s, they said, oh no, don't do that. That's a waste of time. The lab does that. And we got so busy, we just let them do it. Now, I can tell you as an intern, I found things because I still did that. Nobody else was doing it. I still did that. And I found things and made diagnoses that nobody else saw. But nobody believed me. But they turned out to be right, but nobody would believe me in real time because I said, well, wait a minute. In the urine, I saw these crystals. So why have they discouraged us from doing fresh blood smears? Again, because they don't want us to see this. I really think that's what's going on. So here's the point that is hopeful in all this. We can all do a parasite protocol. I actually have it on my website, and how to do it using drugs you don't have to get from the doctor, because most doctors are not going to just automatically treat you with parasites.